Alright, so welcome back to the show. It's The Grip on Civil Life 88.9 FM. And earlier we told you that we have someone in the studio who happens to be an Odogu Parara in the agriculture industry. And of course, he is specializing on palm oil production. We have none other than Amajoyi Ikechukwu Kingsley. He happens to be the CEO of KR Foods. Hello, Ikechukwu. How are you doing?
Hi, I am glad to be here.
We're happy to have you. We're very happy to have you because we want to gain knowledge. And even if some of us don't know our way around the farm, we would like to know how we can invest and how we can
globally, palm oil accounts for 40% of the vegetable fat consumed, right?
40%.
40% is a $65 billion industry and growing in the global market. And then it's an interesting commodity because it has, just from one fruit, you can derive several products. The red palm oil, the palm kernel oil, which is refined into what you would call the power oil, mamado, and the likes. Yeah, then there's the palm kernel cake, which serves as a feed formula for livestock. And then the palm kernel shell finds application in the automobile industry now and also to power refineries. Yeah, then narrowing it down to Nigeria, of course, is a staple consumed by many homes in Nigeria. It's worth over $500 million, the size of the market in Nigeria.
Just in Nigeria?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and of course, it supports over 4 million households in Nigeria already. So that speaks to what the potential is. And then the two amongst the top 10 best performing stocks on the stock exchange market are palm oil companies, and with share values as high as 750 naira per share. So yeah, so just to give you a context about the industry.
Just give me an idea.
So that means you know what you've been doing when you enter this industry.
Well,
You had an agenda.
yeah, of course I did. I did. Curiosity got me here because I was wondering, like, okay, so what is it about this thing? So growing up, I knew my grandfather used to own a plantation and then a small mill. So we used to just do it because we were enthused by the whole farming experience. But as I began to explore the business side, I just grew to love it. Yeah, but there was a more interesting story, though sad, that got me into the space fully, which was the stark reality that over 70 to 80% of the palm oil we consume is adulterated. So the people that produce the palm oil at the farm gate are not the ones that adulterate. So there's a value chain, right? And these people do not have access to market. And so most times the merchants buy the palm oil. And if palm oil sells at the actual value, it might be upwards of 3,000 naira to a liter, right? But yeah, no, as the cost price, right? So, but these merchants buy, and sometimes it's even ignorance. Oh, we can't sell it at 3,000 per liter. Okay, how can we make it affordable? And they mix all sorts of things. But there are the wicked ones, the ones that mix slurry pap, dye, and then bad palm oil. They just mix everything. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. So there have been cases where EFCC has even stepped in to arrest some people. Notable cases in Gombe, up north, many places. Well, it's really capital intensive, I must tell you. So yeah, there's always need for government intervention in this space because, like I said earlier, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and to do it and do it at scale, to the scale that is able to sustain you and afford you a decent livelihood, it requires a lot of capital. And sadly, the banks are not tethered to give loans to agricultural endeavors. Yes, because it requires patient capital.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So it requires patient capital.
I'm sorry, Nigeria confuses me. That is literally where our money is. How are the banks not giving loans to agricultural ventures?
Okay, so let's put it in perspective.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I wants to invest, right, and she says, okay, I want my money in 12 months.
Okay.
But in reality, you start getting the dividends after 5 years. But the interesting thing is that you reap consistently
Exactly.
for the next 35 years.
Exactly.
There was a time I was having this conversation. I said, approach it like you would a real estate, right?
Because it's a long-term investment.
Yes, it's a long-term investment.
Yeah.
So you would be amenable to putting your money down, say 10, 20 million naira on a property and allow it to, mature over a 10-year period.
Yeah.
But you can't extend the same mindset to palm oil.
agriculture.
Yeah, so I was narrowing it down to the
Palm
sector,
oil.
palm oil now. Yeah, because it's really capital intensive. The banks are not willing to do long term.
Yeah.
And obviously, because they have to do, their returns are in 12-month cycles, so it's understandable. So there needs to flow the development finance institutions like CBN, Development Bank of Nigeria, African Development Bank, and the likes, and the other global bodies can support. I think the only body that I know that has demonstrated immense support, but it's a sad story, is World Bank. World Bank in the 1960s funded the first set of other palm projects in Nigeria and Malaysia. Today, Nigeria is the 5th largest producer of palm oil in Nigeria from number 1. And we are only producing a paltry let me just be gracious, 1.5 million metric tons annually. Malaysia is currently producing over 29 million metric tons.
No, the gap is
You
That's
can't,
even a
yes.
That's low over our heads.
Yes, so, and interestingly, we import palm oil.
What other major challenges do you say you face in this line of business?
Okay, so another one would be access to affordable machineries. So over 80% of the local production of palm oil, and the same goes to any other food value chain you want to mention, whether it be cassava, any other one, name it, is done by 80% by smallholder farmers, up to that tune. And they lack access to improved milling equipment, processing equipment, if you will. And that affects their productivity and efficiency. So in the palm oil value chain, for instance, you have farmers grappling with 40% oil extraction efficiency against the global benchmark of 85%. So that's over 40-45% lost. So, and that affects their livelihood. That's why you see most farmers are poor.